The opinions, beliefs, and viewpoints expressed on today's radio show and their guests do not necessarily reflect the opinions, beliefs, and viewpoints of Easy Way Broadcasting.
Welcome to Radio Boomers Live, the show about all things human from a baby boomer's perspective. All things hot and all things not. News, reviews, interviews, chat, text, and what's next. And here are your hosts, Reatha Gray from Betty White's Off Their Rockers, and Easy's dad, Jim Zuley.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning,
Good
Reatha,
morning,
from Radio Boomers Live.
Good morning.
We are doing it the easy way, and I'll tell you, Reatha, it has been an exciting week news-wise, and I don't know, have you been traveling anywhere? You've been keeping up with all the award shows and keeping busy in Hollywood?
I've been busy. I haven't been doing as much as I used to do. You know, the old song, don't get around much anymore. Well, I'm reaching that age. I just don't get around that much.
Yeah, I tell you.
But
sometimes that happens. You know, you just get to a point where you say, you know, I could do this much, but then I'm going to draw a line. And
it's been raining in Los Angeles, and us Angelinos really don't do rain well. You know, I'm like sugar; I melt in the rain. So
you melt. Yeah. Well, we need it, and because you know you get the rumors. But you know, it's funny, Reatha, as they say, well, the rains bring the fires, and you're thinking, how are you going to win here? No matter what happens, you're thinking, well, what it means is the rains bring the grass. And the grass eventually dries out, and that, you know, the big circle. But
LA is beautiful right now. It's green. I was driving down a hill the other day, and you could look out over Los Angeles, and it was so green and so beautiful. The good thing about LA is when it rains, everything clears up, and it's beautiful.
It is.
So there is
it.
that. But that takes us up to Hot Topic.
It's Hot Topic time.
Ripped from the headlines, today's hot topic.
Well, you spoke about award shows. Well, the Grammys were last night, and I have to admit, I did not watch them, even though I do like Alicia Keys. I don't know any of these people that are winning awards. I really don't. It's genre of music for the most part, but I don't know any of these people. But I'll give you a rundown of people who won, because I did at least look it up. The best R&B album was by her. I have no idea who her is, but she did win, and she won big last night from what I understand. Best country album was Casey Musgraves. I don't know Casey. The best album of the year was Golden Hour, again by Casey Musgraves. She won really big last night. Record of the year was This Is America by Childish Gambino, who I did not know was actually actor Danny Glover. I just don't know these people. The song of the year was Donald Glover. And the song of the year was This Is America, under Donald Glover's real name, Donald Glover, who is also Childish Gambino, which I did not know. The best new artist was Dua Lipa. I have no idea who that is. The best pop solo artist was Lady Gaga. I know who she is. I do know who Lady Gaga is. The best pop vocal winner was Ariana Grande. I do know who Ariana is. And the best pop duo or group performance was Shallow by Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper. I do know who they are. Best rap album was Invasion of Privacy by Cardi B, who refused to the Grammys, I understand, because they wouldn't let her perform what she wanted to perform. And the best rap song was by Drake, who I've heard of, but I don't really know who Drake is either. And the best country song, again, was Casey Musgraves with a bunch of other people for Space Cowboy. And last but not least, the best R&B performance was Best Part by her featuring Daniel Caesar, who I don't know who either of them are. But from what I understand, the Grammys were very long, almost 3.5 hours last night. They had lots of performances. Diana Ross performed. Smokey Robinson performed. They did a tribute to Aretha Franklin. I am gonna watch it though. I'm gonna watch it in the whatever you call it when you play it back. But those are the winners. Hope those of you who watched it enjoyed it. Jim, what's your hot topic?
Well, Reatha, I can kind of relate to that with the names, but I don't want to age myself. But I guess when you're a couple of generations away, that's par for the course. Thousands of teenage girls marched through testing the global change situation with the weather. They want to get their politicians to do something about it. The polar vortex is running wild. It may not be because of climate change, but you got the deeper snow in areas that people are used to snow, but not that much snow, they say. Instead of up to their boots, it's up to their waist. You've got the flooding in areas that's totally record-breaking floods. People that are 90 years old, they say they've lived in these towns their whole life, and they've never seen floods on their main parts of town and everything. You got cold in areas that's 30 degrees colder than it normally is, so there's some going to change here going on. Scientists, but they're basically not clear on what's causing the radical change. Some scientists say the rapidly warming Arctic could disturb both the stratosphere polar vortex as well as the jet stream. And basically what it is when the ocean changes, the weather changes. Okay, the Arctic has lost 50% of the ice mass in the last 50 years. Normally, it's maybe a foot or two, I just roughly, I'll give you the stats on that, but it's a very slow process. Now it's very rapid. And when you look down from the NASA shots, you see from 50 years ago to now, half of it's gone. All right, so that's the deal with that. As the temperature sea ice, I'll give you the kind of stats here. As the temperature rises, sea ice at the poles is melting and exposing the ocean to sun heat. I'm going to go slow so you understand. Water absorbs more heat than ice. This raises temperatures, which leads to more ice loss, which causes more temperature changes. As a result, temperature in the Arctic are increasing as twice the rate of the mid-latitudes around the equator. So that's basically what's going on, because you couldn't go to the Antarctic and literally watch the tourists watch pieces of ice just falling down. You would have to be there for years to watch a piece fall down. Now every day they're crumbling. The Antifia member charged with the violent attack on the Marines, supposedly tied to Democrats, Dems officials distancing from the D.C. Antifia leader Joseph Alcoff. Congressional leaders rushed to avert a number. They're the government shutdown thing. They don't want the government shutdown to happen again. Trump is basically he wants the $5.7 billion to do the wall. It's actually a drop in the bucket. It's less than 1% of the budget. I think it's just a stubbornness on the Pelosi side. She could easily let that go, get the wall built. The people down there, the security people, want the wall built. Reatha and I are going to be going down there to actually see what's going on. Reatha's going to be on the Mexican side. I'll be on the USA side, and we'll talk and see what's going on.
I don't think so.
But anyway, that's some of the news, Reatha, and it's crazy. There's so much. There's so much more to cover, but we're out of time.
There really is. But let's move on to our first commercial word.
It's commercial time.
Are you tired of doing business the hard way? Is building your business taking too much time and energy? We can help. Introducing your ultimate solution, EasyWay Business Membership. We're a full-service digital marketing solution specializing in branding and marketing, advertising, and introductions to CEOs and influencers that can help your business thrive. Problem solved. Now you can hire our award-winning team to work for your business. We've received many prestigious awards, including the Digital Trailblazer Award by Hollywood Weekly magazine, and we've been recognized by Congress. For just $11 a day, you'll get more exposure, reach more clients by next month, guaranteed. Here's how it works. You pay one low annual fee of $4,000, and you'll receive consulting, branding, marketing, advertising, social media support, product placement, and business introductions to help your business grow exponentially. And if you need more, we offer SEO, commercial, TV exposure, and much more for an additional rate. To recap, for just $11 a day annual membership fee, you'll receive branding, consulting, business-to-business introductions, advertising, and social media support. But don't take our word for it. Here's what our customers say.
We've been working with EasyWay Eric for the last 6 months, and literally we are slammed with work for 2 months straight, so his marketing definitely works.
To learn more, visit EasyWayNetwork.com or contact us at 877-399-2929. And don't forget to follow us on social media. On Facebook at EasyWay Network, Twitter at EasyWay Broadcast, and YouTube at EasyWay TV.
Boomer Boost is a comprehensive, all-in-one powerhouse nutritional supplement designed to specifically support your body's vital functions. Boomer Boost is the result of years of research by numerous scientists and formulators, resulting in a comprehensive nutritional powder that contains all of your essential vitamins, minerals, amino acids, and even specialty nutrients in one easy-to-use drink. Boomer Boost replenishes the vital nutrients that are depleted during your body's repair process, including macronutrients, proteins, carbohydrates, and fats, as well as micronutrients, vitamins and minerals, coenzymes, and specialty nutrients, allowing your body to make all of the proteins required for optimal health and execute the metabolic pathways that are the essence of human life. Many of these nutrients can only be obtained through a proper diet, and Boomer Boost provides everything your body requires to increase energy and feel great.
Yes, indeed. Okay, guys, I do my Boomer Boost. Reatha, do you do the Boomer Boost yet?
I've yet to do the Boomer Boost. I'm going to have to get a hold of that.
We got to get going on that. Easy Way, letter E, letter Z. Easy Way phone. That's where it's all put together now. And I'm getting used to it. EasyWayPhone.app. That's all the stuff in there from the Easy Way. You get the Reatha and I on Radio Boomers Live and Easy Way Broadcasting, Easy Way Wall of Fame. That's exploding exponentially. Easy Way Tube, Eric's own Tube channel, Easy Way TV, Easy Way debit card, and it goes on and on and on. It's a whole new world that's been created here, and people love it. It's all good stuff. So, Reatha, we have a very interesting guest coming on, Dr. Nathalie Beauchamp, and she is, I'm going to go over just a couple. She graduated a Doctor of Chiropractic in Ontario, also a bachelor's degree in human kinetics, also certified as a functional medicine practitioner. She owns and operates her own private practice, Sante Chiropractic and Wellness Center, for over 20 years. She's a former bodybuilder and author of Jumpstart Your Health, Get Force, Get Results, Permanent Weight Loss Solutions and Wellness on the Go, just to name a few. She has written numerous publications, been on radio and TV. Oh, I'm out of breath. There's just so much. I could turn a page, and the page she's done so much. I got to bring her on. Otherwise, I'll bring her on and say, well, sorry, we're out of time. So, Dr. Nathalie, you on with us?
Hello, how are you?
There she is. Reatha, this is Dr. Nathalie
Welcome.
This is Reatha Gray.
Is that the right pronunciation of your last name?
Not quite. Beauchamp, but close enough.
What did I mess that one
okay.
up, huh? Sorry about that.
You said it the more British kind of way, but it's all good.
Okay.
I was going to say, you're from Canada, so a little French there, Beauchamp.
Yes. French is indeed my first language. So thank you for having me on the show, guys.
Et vous français?
Thank you for being here.
Français?
Yeah, I am French, indeed.
Entendez-vous, s'il vous plaît? Well, anyway, so with all this is going on, my first question would be, what do you do with all your spare time?
It's funny that you say that because I'm on this call now in the clinic. I just went and hid in a room so I can have some quiet time. So I'm still in full-time practice, but decided a couple years ago to write another book called Hack Your Health Habits. And really, I was seeing the challenges that people had when it came to their health. So I wanted to put it all in one book, and it is a fairly extensive book. It has 600 pages, but I wanted to have everything into one book because people are confused when it comes to health, and there's so much out there that I wanted to put it all together. And also the habit part was very important to me because oftentimes people know that they have to change things, but if they're not changing their habits, then, they're not succeeding too well. So.
And, this is, and there's two things here. Changing their habits. Okay, it might be easy to change, but it's sticking with it seems to be the trick, right? Mm-hmm. And that's like sticking with that plan, getting on that wagon of vegetables, but staying there. Because, all right, I'll hit you with this one, and this really gets me. People say they're 350, 400 pounds. And I've seen it on the television in one of these series where they show how they work so hard to get that weight off. And they're trying to do a little jogging in the treadmill. And you've done this. You've worked with these people. And you see them with the diet. They don't get to eat their big pizzas and all that. They're on the, eating a cabbage or something. And they become successful. They drop from 400 to, say, 200 pounds after all that work. Now, what I don't understand is how can they possibly go back to gaining that weight when they see how uncomfortable their life was and how hard it is to get that weight off? How do they get it back on? I
think in this situation, there's, the relationship with food is probably the big part of the issue. And if they change their lifestyle, but they haven't changed their relationship with food, then that is most likely why they get to put the weight back on. So there's a psychological component that needs to be addressed, that it is with bulimia, anorexia, body dysmorphia, whichever. We're never one thing. We are, a physical, we are mind and spirit, meaning that we need to address all these components when we look at our health, right?
And you're right.
And one of my problems is my relationship with food, because I am a comfort food eater. And I refuse to admit that. For years, I refused to admit it. So what can I do? Because I still kind of comfort myself with food. I'm doing better with what I use. But how do you shift that relationship?
Well, there's holistic nutritionists that can help you with that. But what I would say is, what is your why? Why do you want to eat differently and better? And I find that when people don't have a big enough why, they're not inclined to stick with those habits that we're talking about. So if as human, we're basically responding to pain or pleasure, and sometimes, sadly, people need an event, a heart attack, a diagnosis of cancer, to really say, oh, okay, wait a minute here, I need to take this, very seriously. So that's kind of why I wrote the book, to hopefully connect with people before those events. But I would have to say, you have to ask yourself, what is your why? Why do you want to stay healthy or have an ideal weight and so forth? And for some people, it's because they had a scare. Sometimes it's a family member. Sometimes they're just tired of being tired and have no energy, and, they want to just have a better quality of life. So I would say, for sure there's an emotional component, but you have to really dig down and figure out your why. and realize if it's a strong enough why. If it's not strong enough, you'll be good for a while and then you'll default, which, sometimes it's okay, and you need to get to a certain level to have a deeper why. But that's usually what I see with people, that, it sounds like a good idea to lose 10 pounds. It sounds like a good idea to work out, but their why is not strong enough, or they don't foresee the result as being strong enough to make a difference somehow.
Yeah. I've seen neighbors out there jogging, and when I never seen them jog, and I'd say, what's up? They go, well, they had a problem. They had a stroke or something like that, and all of a sudden now, like you say, kick-started them, and they're totally concerned with their health now.
And I get it, because the information out there is really confusing, and I know sometimes patients will tell me, well, geez, Nathalie, everything's going to kill me, so I might as well just, not bother. So unfortunately, sometimes that's the message people hear. It's not the case. I mean, they say that genetics are probably accounting for 5% of chronic diseases, and 95% are lifestyle diseases. So there is a lot that we can do to prevent.
Okay, I got a question for you. Now, I don't know if, all right, I'm going to hit you with this one. Antibiotics, good or bad? Because
it depends.
You take an antibiotic, and all of a sudden, hey, it kills the bad stuff. But I hear that there's a lot of good stuff that it gets rid of too, right?
Yeah, no, exactly, and it depends. That's actually when I do talks, I have a whole presentation, and all my questions are answered with that answer. It depends. In some cases, antibiotics might be well needed. Unfortunately, they had a tendency in past years to be overprescribed without the proper testing and all of that stuff. And you are correct. It does kill the normal flora as well, which we know that the bacteria are such a huge component to our gut health, to our immune system, to our serotonin production, which is that happy hormone. So it is not without consequences, for sure.
Yeah, the good and the bad.
Well, I have a problem with statins. I have high cholesterol. I cannot take statins. They literally cripple me within a matter of days or weeks, depending on how much I'm taking. What can I hack to kind of cut down my cholesterol and bypass statins?
Okay, so that's a very good question, and you're not the only one in that situation, and you're not the only one who has been prescribed statins. So a couple of things we need to look at is that a bit of a misconception that cholesterol is what increases, or what we eat that is increasing our cholesterol levels. And it's more sugar that will increase our triglyceride level and cholesterol. So first thing I would do is look at your sugar intake and see if you can address your high cholesterol that way. The other thing to take in consideration is that research is not conclusive to the fact that people that have higher cholesterol actually have more heart attacks. So yes, statin drugs will decrease the cholesterol, but to the purpose of just decreasing cholesterol, if it doesn't increase, the heart attacks and so forth, we have to look at that as well. There's a great book on all of that I would suggest you read. It's called Eat Fat, Get Thin by Dr. Mark Hyman, and it is debunking the myth of eating fat making us, increase our cholesterol level. It's mostly sugar, so it would be a great read for you to grasp the concept of what else you can do with your lifestyle to decrease your sugar intake.
So awesome. I just gave up sugar in January. So it's really difficult because sugar is in everything. But you do know there are ketchups that are made without sugar. There are salad dressings made without sugar. You have to dig them up. You have to find them. Yeah. But you can really decrease your sugar.
Yeah, well, if you just started in January, then I would say just give it some time, and you should see results with many things, many markers in your health that are going to improve.
One of the things we hear about is the sugar-free. Now, a lot of people like pop, which is soda, which is whatever you want to call it. And No, then you see the magical bottle on the shelf. There's a bottle of pop I can have, and it's sugar-free. It's diet.
Yeah.
But I hear that what's in that could be worse than the sugar.
Yeah, the artificial sweeteners, have a whole slew of consequences when it comes to the nervous system and so forth. So yeah, you're correct that sugar is one thing, but those artificial sugars are not better either. Plus, they trick our body into thinking it's sugar, and will trick our pancreas and so forth. So we have to stay away. At the end of the day, what we should be drinking is water. It just
water.
We've gone all fancy with all those drinks, but technically we're made of 65% plus water, so that should be our beverage of choice.
Well, I'm kind of lucky because my body rejects artificial sweeteners. It rejects so much stuff that I'm almost forced at this point to eat healthy.
That's great. It's your body tricking you into eating healthy.
So, Dr. Nathalie, let me put you on the spot a little bit here. There's so much water out there. There's 50 bottles of water. There's fancy water that's expensive, and then there's water out of the tap. I suppose it's all good, but would you kind of zero in on maybe, because I went to an event one time and they had 10 bottles of water, and below it they had these little bottles of the bad things that are in it, and they're different colors. And what would you recommend for a water?
Again, I hate to repeat myself, but it depends. Well, first of all, bottled water is, the plastic has an impact on the water itself because it might have been placed in the heat and it will be leaching. So ideally, we don't want to drink from bottled water. Now, it's hard. I was just traveling quite a bit in the last couple of weeks, and I had to drink from bottled water. So filtering our water at home is a good way to go to remove, some of the chemicals like fluoride and chlorine and so forth. Yeah. But also remineralizing our water is important as well. So there's, not to name any specific companies, but companies that will have a good filtration system and that will also have minerals that you can put back in the water are companies that we should look at for sure.
Well, we could go on for hours with all that you have, all the information you have. But I'd like to have you back because we have about 75 more questions for you.
Okay, well, as you can tell, I love questions, and these are all questions, that I know people have, and they're great questions. So I'd love to be back on the show at some point.
Well, tell us, you have a podcast?
Yeah, I have a podcast.
And some books out.
So the name of the book is Hack Your Health Habits, and my podcast name is called What the Hack. So I thought I would, play on words here and have a little bit of fun. And I interview, different health practitioners on different topics. Just last week we had someone, a holistic doctor on essential oil. We had brain health. I try to bring variety to the show and keep it interesting for people to listen.
Our Dr. Dante.
So how do you listen to What the Hack?
Pardon me?
How do you listen to What the Hack?
It is on iTunes, downloadable. It's on many of the Libsyn and all different kind of channels, stickers as well. But iTunes, it has its own channel there.
Oh, cool.
And you can get the book on Amazon?
Yeah, the book is available on Amazon. You guys are in the States, so Barnes & Nobles. It's accessible. Paper format and ebook as well.
Oh, cool. All right. This is amazing. So how do you pronounce your last name again?
Beauchamp.
Beauchamp. Okay.
There you go. That sounds fantastic.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for coming on because I know you're so busy, and we appreciate it because, in the baby boomer scenario, we really need some help with all this.
Yeah, we want to live, with full of energy, vitality, and, as well as we can as we're aging. So, yes, you are correct.
That's right. So thank you for coming on, and we have to move along here, but It was great information. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Sure.
Great meeting you.
Thank you, guys.
Reatha,
Bye-bye.
we have to take notes, Reatha, so we can stay in good shape with all this stuff. I'll tell you, it's really interesting. With that, I think we're moving on into a commercial.
Looking to grow and align your brand with celebrities and other established brands? Your brand is all about your entire customer experience. Everything from your logo, your website, your social media experiences, the way you answer the phone, to the way your customers experience your staff. So why not let us help you get your branding right from the start? At Easy Way Promotions, we are a new class of professionals providing first-class online branding, promotion, social media, website development, editing, graphic design, public relations, media, SEO, and online advertising to give your business the competitive edge to stand out. Our highly experienced experts will not only help you increase your online presence, but also provide you with a proven online strategy to help you increase the value of your company and make acquiring new customers easier. So what are you waiting for? Contact us today and let us help you grow your business exponentially.
For more information, contact 424-209-9290 or visit easywaypromotions.com. That's letter E, letter Z. We also encourage you to like our Facebook page at Easy Way Promotions. You are about to experience Carmelita's Corner. Carmelita's song Rosebud made it to the top 40s with the Godfather of Soul, James Brown. She's the founder of the Rose Breast Cancer Society. Now here's your host, Carmelita Pittman.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning. Hey there, I'm so happy this morning because I've got one of the most fantastic guests that I've had on my show, and she has a track record that is unbelievable. She's a former candidate of the LA City Council for several years, 12 to my understanding, and she has been the catalyst for many of the projects that have given us a new face downtown, such as the LA Live, the Cathedral of Our Lady of the Angels, a police administrative building. She's brought in $15 billion in investment, $40 million in net new tax revenue for the city of Los Angeles, and 90,000 full-time jobs. As a result of her leadership, downtown is a new place, a more desirable place for people to live. And I could go on and on and on, but I just want to have you bring your hands together and welcome Ms. Jan Perry. Good morning, Jan.
Good morning. Glad to be here.
Yes, I'm glad to have you here. Well,
thank you.
You are just one of the most remarkable ladies I've met, and you're coming up for a well-deserved award this Friday at the Beverly Hilton for the Lady in Red Awards, and I'm just so happy to be there as well, and I'll be looking for you.
Thank you.
So, yes, so congratulations on that.
Thank you. That's exciting.
Yeah, the Lady in Red Awards, the Diamond Awards, are just really becoming a really signature event that was started many years ago by Jarvie Hutcherson. He started many things. He was an entrepreneur of many achievements. He had the Multicultural Motion Picture Association, which he used as a platform to promote diversity in the film industry. And that is something, as you know, that is very much needed. And yes, we really do need to promote that. And that was one of his achievements. But I think that this event is probably one of the most beautiful that he has had. And so how are you feeling about the event coming up?
Well, I'm very excited. I was there last year, and it was very inspiring to see women from so many different backgrounds and disciplines, getting up and speaking about their life story and speaking their own truth. And it was a very special evening.
It is, and I'm noticing that women are really taking the front seat these days, don't you think?
Yes, absolutely. It's long overdue.
I mean, really, with so much empowerment of women going on, I guess I've sort of been on that train for a long time. I just wasn't really aware of it. And believe it or not, I was actually born March the 8th, which is the Women's International Day of Recognition. So I'm thinking, wow, that's amazing. I just never really noticed it until when you look at your life patterns. And I remember having served years ago in West Hollywood on the Women's Sub-Issues Committee, and we put together a special event in West Hollywood. And in that particular case, having been a former LA Unified art educator, I worked together with another lady. Her name was Helen, and she brought in former gang members. Not that they needed them in West Hollywood, but they called themselves aerosol artists. And they were so talented that I had them make the sets for the backdrop of an opera, because I had another friend who was from Transylvania, believe it or not. Her name was Alina de Alba. I haven't seen her in years, but beautiful, beautiful, gorgeous redhead. And she was a member of the LA Opera. I think it was in New York, the Opera Company. And so it was her passion to bring opera to that event, and they televised it on Channel 2. So and the young gang members, they dressed up in suits, So it was really quite an event.
That sounds great.
Yeah. Now, tell me what has inspired you to run for the LA County Board of Supervisors?
Well, I'm very, very interested and passionate and have a lot of experience in working on issues related to homelessness and mental health. And this is something that I want to continue to pursue. I want to be able to build more housing with the support services on site for people who are homeless so that they can become formerly homeless and reclaim their lives and stabilize. And then I want to be able to develop more programs that will help people who are formerly homeless get trained for jobs and employment, and so that they can mainstream back into society in their community or wherever they came from and live a fulfilled life.
Well, that's really wonderful. My platform before my mother graduated to a better world would have been homelessness because, even that was several years ago now. Looking back, it's actually increased. I understand there's like about 55,000 people that are homeless downtown. Is that right?
Well, I think that they just did another count. I haven't heard the final numbers yet, but it wouldn't surprise me if it had increased. But, homelessness is an embodiment of many different factors, and mental health and public health and those things all get wrapped into that. So that's why running for supervisor and becoming a supervisor for the 2nd District is so important to me, because I would be able to marshal those resources and ensure that they are used in the best way possible.
And having looked at your bio, I see that you have had your hands busy with that too. You are involved in having 5,670 units of supportive housing to shelter the homeless and people suffering from mental illness and substance abuse.
Well, there's a lot of really great nonprofit housing developers in the county and in the city who are way ahead of the curve in terms of being innovative, creative, and understanding not only how to house someone, how to help somebody recover, and also how to prepare them for work. The interesting thing about some of the more recent housing developments that I worked on, they included culinary arts kitchens so that, the clients could go into the kitchens and, train to be able to work in, commercial kitchens or in restaurants and, get into a training program to ultimately be able to get a job making a decent wage with health care benefits.
And that's really, really needed. And the food industry does seem to be a great outlet, not only for the people who are homeless for various reasons. Some of them are people who are formerly incarcerated, and people who are coming out. They do need employment, otherwise they wind up employing themselves, breaking into your house, And so, they need an income.
The food industry, the food industry is a great industry for allowing opportunity for people who may need to start over or need a second chance.
Mhm. And I have to tell you, and this is sort of I guess you could say an amusing story, because my husband used to work at CNN, and I went downtown when St. Viviana's was sort of under attack as a result of the earthquake. They wanted to tear it down, and the option was, fortunately, this new beautiful cathedral, which we have now. But while I was down there, with a group of people who were demonstrating because we were trying to save the cathedral, I met this gentleman who was homeless, and I asked him why, and he said because he had AIDS and nobody wanted to give him a job. I thought that was kind of sad, but back to the story, because the news media showed up and because my husband worked at CNN, they recognized me. They said, Jared, he said, it was all over the loudspeaker. He says, isn't that your wife down there picketing?
That's funny.
Yeah, I know. But we've had many moments like that. But getting back to that project, there was a big building right across the street from St. Viviana's, and I had my eye on that building, and I thought, wouldn't that be a perfect place to have a multi-unit, operation? As you say, they need to have so many issues addressed, especially mental is partially that. Some people are not capable of having a job because, they're not stable. But, I thought that because there is a place in New York, I can't think of the name of it, maybe but a woman who has put together a very successful project there. She raised a lot of money, and she, provided shelter and gave them different activities to do and was pretty much self-sustaining, and I think we can do that out here too.
Oh, I think we can too. And working as a county supervisor, I'll be able to be a part of a larger network of social service providers and nonprofit housing developers to create a strategy that's even more forward-thinking so that we can eventually get to the point where we not only house people who are homeless, but get ahead of that and perhaps catch people with support or provide them with support before they become homeless.
Yes, absolutely. And do you remember Ted Hayes when he had this? They looked like little igloos. They were beautiful, and I don't know why, but they were taken away. Do you know what happened to that?
No, I don't remember.
Yeah, it was not. It was in the downtown area, and it was like a little community, and they had these little round structures, and people helped one another. It was a great community, and then all of a sudden it got squished, got washed away. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But anyway, that was, I thought it was a great solution. So maybe that may be something you may want to entertain. But as I'm looking at the clock, Janet, hasn't not been enough time to be with you. But
I know.
But
I
think
talking to you, though.
It's wonderful that you've been on the air now with Carmelita's Corner. I've been on the air now for 3 years and counting, still winding up with wonderful guests such as yourself, and
Thank you.
It's an honor. So I wish
Thanks,
you well,
Carmelita.
and we want to see you on that L.A. County Board of Supervisors. I'm going to be doing whatever I can to get behind you. I think you're one of the best candidates they could ever have. So
thank you so much.
All right. Thanks for coming on my broadcast on Easy Way Broadcasting Network.
You take care. Thank you.
Okay.
Carmelita's Corner. She
Always
such amazing
interesting.
So
always.
interesting.
And Carmelita,
that lady
if
has
you're
done
still
so
listening,
much.
yeah, and Carmelita, if you're still listening, Ted Hayes is still an activist. I went to an art show a few weeks ago supporting the homeless and Ted was there, and I saw a picture of Ted when he was very young and no gray hair. And I understand he is trying to campaign to be even more active and more involved in the government in continuing to advocate for the homeless. So Ted's still around. That was Dome Village years ago. And the short answer is they lost their lease. Now, it could have been political, but the short answer is they lost their lease, and that's why Dome Village went away. But at any rate, let's move on to Tech Time.
It's Tech Time.
Smartphone, cell phone, PC, Mac, tablet, iPad. That's right, it's Tech Time.
Well, today I'm going to talk about ride shares. It's hard for me to believe that everyone doesn't have a ride share app on their phone, but I have discovered that everybody doesn't. Well, when I first heard about ride share, it was first Uber, and I thought, I will never need Uber. And this woman said, oh, it's a free app. Just put it on your phone. You never know when you're going to need it. Well, I did put it on my phone, and lo and behold, my car broke down, and I needed to get somewhere. And I used Uber. So that was the first time I used it. I don't use it often, but I do use it. There are two main ride-sharing companies in L.A., Uber and Lyft. I've used both of them. People say one's better than the other. I find that drivers tend to drive for both. They have an Uber sticker and a Lyft sticker. So a lot of them are the same people. And I just took a Lyft the other day, and it's really funny because now they put the pictures driver and his license number on your app so you see who's coming to pick you up. And I looked at the picture, and this guy looked like kind of a bad Santa on his picture. And I thought, oh, I wish I had a woman that was driving me. But this guy picked me up. He was the nicest, friendliest, most wonderful driver I've had. So you can't necessarily judge a book by the cover, but I do say trust your instincts. If you don't feel good about a driver, don't get in his car. And then report them. At the end of each ride on either service, you can rate them by stars. And if they're a 1, give them a 1. If they take you a roundabout and you know they're not taking you the right way, write that down in the notes. That's the way that we can eliminate the bad drivers on Lyft and Uber. Also, they'll deliver food. Uber Eats will actually bring food to your home. And my cousin had that idea years ago, and I said, nobody's going to pay to have fast food delivered to their home. Well, I've even done it myself on occasion. So I highly recommend taking the ride shares. My only bad experience was once I decided I was going to do the group share with strangers. And I think they actually missed their plane, and I was very close to missing mine. So I don't necessarily recommend that you do the group share because it's only a few dollars less. But download the app both for Uber and Lyft. You never know. You might break down. You might have to take your car to the shop and need a ride home. You never know when you might need that ride share. So go ahead, download that Lyft or that Uber and have fun ride sharing. Jim, what's your Jim for today?
Very interesting, Reatha, very interesting. And there was talk about interesting, the Anaheim Ducks had an event in Newport Beach with Kelly Bennett and Eric Zuley attended, and it was raising money for Orangewood at the foster care group. So that was, you could check that on Facebook. So, guys, every once in a while I look up some articles and I try to get you little tidbits on tips for retirement and health and finances and so on and so forth. Well, I found one by Jeff Rose. It was in goodfinancialsense.com. And there's basically 15 tips in retirement. I don't know if I can cover them all, but I'll try to give you a few because, you know, people work hard to get to the point where they can finally retire when they decide when is that certain time when they can make that choice to retire. And it doesn't mean you're going to be sitting around. You're going to be busy. So here we go. Control your spending is number one. This could be the single biggest step in making sure that you never outlive money. It's especially important during the first years of retirement. Number two is make time for family. If you have children, do you remember when you were young, how much time did you spend with them and so on and so forth? Well, now that you're in the retirement stage, try to take some time. I found out a lot of people will literally move to go where their kids are at because that's what it's all about. Don't get burned on your taxes. If you're like most retirees, most of the money that you've saved for retirement was merely tax deferred and not tax free. That means the funds in your retirement plans will be taxable upon withdrawal in retirement. You'll have to manage those withdrawals in a way that you minimize the tax liability. All this stuff is important when you're selling a house. Are you going to be able to keep your Prop 13 and so on and so forth? Got to research that. Talk to a financial planner or advisor. Consider a part-time job to stay active. If you don't need extra income, holding a part-time job may be an excellent way to stay active. This is, we also talked about the volunteering and so on and so forth, joining clubs. This will not only keep your mind sharp, and it may also keep you socially involved, and get involved in stuff. Don't sit around and be a retiree that just sits around. Don't forget about your long-term care insurance. Have your estate planning in order. Know exactly how much you need to live on each month, the proverbial budget. Have a good financial advisor, which we talked about, because there's a lot of little tips and tricks that you may not have thought of. Have a portion of your assets in an annuity for safety, a little backup there. Have a portion of your assets in asset lock. Make out a bucket list. Most of us have plans and goals throughout our lives, but they have a way of forcing us to delay accomplishing them. We put them off. You're going to put them off to the point like my parents were living next door to these people in Florida that had retired, and they bought a big place, and after both of them working successfully at their business, they retired with a lot of money. Well, when they got down there and they had their big house built, the guy had a stroke, and she said, now we have all this money and we have this house, and now we can't go anywhere after both working 50 years. Never stop learning. Don't abandon your emergency fund. Take even better care of your health than before, which we talked about. Do your more exotic traveling early in your retirement. That's what we talked about. What good does it do to travel around if you can't enjoy it? So, Reatha, just a couple tips. But I know you're an example of somebody that stays active and travels, and you really got to do it while you can do it, right, Reatha? Why wait until you're sick?
Oh, absolutely, because I'm at the point now, traveling used to be fun when I was young, and I realized travel has changed because of the world that we live in, but my body has changed too, and dragging those suitcases through the airport is not any fun anymore.
Yeah, I used to climb trees and cut branches and do all this stuff, and you really got to think about it, because if something happens when you're in your late 60s, 70s, you get a broken something, it's really a pain in the neck. The healing process could take longer. And, who wants to get to the point where you got the bad shoulder, the bad knee or whatever, and then it gets worse. And you really got to think twice about the surgery thing. I don't know if you've ever been there, but people have the back surgery or the knee surgery. I think it's good to research that before you get into that mode. And
oh, absolutely, and they say a ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, or something like that. But bottom line, you want to prevent falling, you want to prevent being sick, you want to prevent having to take all these medications, because I take so many between supplements and medications. It's I don't know what's hurting me more, the issue or the
medication.
Cure.
Yeah. Well, it's like when you're watching TV and we're all familiar with the here's the medication and this is what it does for you. Oh, that sounds good. And then you got to sit there for a couple minutes listening to all the bad things, sort of thinking, how could anybody possibly take that medication when it's going to cause all these problems? I don't know. And then if you're taking medication A and then you got A, B, C, D, how are they affecting each other? Sometimes that's
right.
Not a good thing. That's that's basically why we got to talk to our Dr. Nathalie when she was on. She had so many good tips. And, if you don't follow, you got to do it. You got to research some of this stuff. And there's so much stuff on health, and, people get lost. But start somewhere. And one of the things.
And I have discovered that there really are a lot of products that you can buy that don't have artificial sweeteners in it, don't have preservatives in them. They cost a little bit more. You have to keep them refrigerated, so they take up a little bit more space in your refrigerator. But I'm with Dr. Nathalie. The consequences of sugar, I think, are devastating. And we've just gotten so used to having so much sugar in our lives because it's in everything. When you start really reading labels, I used to think I read labels, but now I really read labels. And there's sugar and unpronounceable stuff, everything. And you can go on Amazon and you can search under sugar-free, or there are different types of diets like paleo or Whole30 or vegan. And you can look up stuff, and some of this stuff doesn't taste bad. And because I haven't been eating sugar in the last month, my taste buds have changed. So things that
That's what I heard.
Before I would say I'd say, this needs to be sweeter. It doesn't. I can drink my tea without any type of sweetener now. And I was saying honey and agave. It does.
Yeah.
I heard that agave and honey were good. They're better, but best is no sweetener at all.
No, yeah. When you start getting away from that stuff, you actually don't want it anymore. The Twinkies and whatever. There's a lot of talk about joints. People have the joint problems, and I found this one. They give you a couple tips. Know your limits, which is what we talked about. Don't overdo it. Eat fish. Keep bones strong. Target your posture. Ease your load. Chill pain. Ice hails. Research supplements. Treat joint injuries and think twice before surgery. That's what I was talking about. And, staying on top of this stuff. But, there's a book, Reatha, called Sugar Blues. It's a thick book. And you go to the store, though, and no matter what you buy, if you get to the point where you want to take some time to look at it, everything's loaded full of sugar. I won't mention the name of it, but I have this drink. It's kind of a drink for seniors. And, you get it vanilla or chocolate or whatever. And I thought, I'm going to at least drink this because it's got all these vitamins. At least I'll get that. And then I looked down, 27 grams of sugar. Well, now they got another one that's only got 5. But everything is got the sugar. I don't know if some sugars are okay and some aren't, if it's natural.
No, they're really all are not really good for you. In moderation, they're not bad, but what's moderation when everything has sugar in it? That's the problem. So, I'm really doing well with this, especially for me. And my body tells me that sugar is not healthy for it.
And we got... just to review, guys, don't forget the Easy Way Wall of Fame. Check it out. Go to the Easy Way, letter E, letter Z, Easy Way Phone .app, A-P-P, and check out Reatha and I on Radio Boomers Live and the Easy Way Tube, which is, it's unbelievable the way that thing's grown because people have a tube channel where it's all good stuff, not the other stuff. EasyWayTube.com, Easy Way Wall, Easy Way TV, and the Easy Way debit card, and EasyWayPhone.app. Read so much stuff going on, and we're about ready to wrap here. But You know, you ever notice we finished the show, and before you know it, it's Sunday night, and you're thinking, boy, we got to get ready here, make sure we got our show together. It goes so fast. This is unbelievable.
It does. And we will be back next Monday morning, 10 a.m., right here on Radio Boomers Live. Looking forward to seeing or you hearing us next week. Have a great week.
So long, guys. Be healthy, be happy, keep moving, and keep the faith. Till next week, Radio Boomers Live with Reatha and I, Monday morning, 10 o'clock. See you then.
Thank you for listening to Radio Boomers Live with your hosts, Reatha Gray, Star Betty White's Off Their Rockers, and Easy's dad, Jim Zuley. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter at Radio Boomers Live. Radio Boomers Live is brought to you by the Easy Way Broadcasting Network. That's the letter E, the letter Z, Broadcasting Network.